What's going on here in the Beat Sessions? I'm your host, Mitchell Weary. It's Friday, May 7th. I know that many of you have probably been anticipating this day for quite some time now, but it is finally here, and you have your brand new Weezer record entitled Van Weezer. This is the band's 15th studio album. It is their follow-up to this year's OK Human, which is a remarkable record. And I'll start this thing off by saying that I think any year that you get two Weezer records of this caliber is a pretty damn good year. But as many of you know, it wasn't always supposed to be this way. Van Weezer was supposed to come out about 16 or 17 months ago, was delayed because of the pandemic, and as the title would suggest, this album is heavily influenced by 70s and 80s rock and roll, the type of project that deserves the support of a big arena tour. So I think that we can all agree that they made a good decision in putting this thing off. It's really cool as a fan too. I don't think many of us anticipated the release of OK Human at the end of January. Knowing what Van Weezer was all about, it was just fantastic to get an album that was drastically different than what we were expecting from that record. Me personally, I love that it's completely different from anything in the Weezer catalog, period. And having not been too excited about the previous two or three Weezer releases, I just found myself renewed in Rivers' songwriting, just in the creative process. The orchestration that he put together for OK Human was remarkable. Doing it in Abbey Road Studios, the whole album kind of having this Beatlesque vibe, just very cool record. Renewed my confidence and my positivity in the type of record that Van Weezer would be. And the band delivered. This record is so much fun. 10 tracks coming in at a hot 31 minutes. It's very much done in the tradition of a lot of Weezer records. And I love that they're not just incorporating 80s hair metal, like they're incorporating any and all rock and roll from the 70s and 80s. I'm loving a lot of the heavy stuff on this too. Metallica, Ozzy and Black Sabbath. You get Ronnie James Dio, The Cult, but then stuff like Cheap Trick, Toto, which makes sense given the Africa cover. Bands like Styx, even some more pop-oriented stuff like Huey Lewis and the News, Robert Palmer. And then the obvious one is the Cars. We all know that, or not all of us know, it was quite some time before I was aware of how much Rick Ocasek from the Cars influenced the sound of Weezer, but it makes sense given the time that Weezer came out, 1994, the grunge movement kind of being on the back end, but Weezer being something completely different as far as taking all those heavy riffs and incorporating a pop element into them that just makes them so infectious. Writing hooks has always been one of the things that Rivers has done very well, and this album really highlights that ability and is a lot of fun. It makes perfect sense for that reason. Opens with the track The End of Game. Great little solo that I think Eddie Van Halen, rest in peace, if he was still around, would have smiled about. The whole song definitely is done in a style that is very much quintessentially Van Halen, and I think it's a great way to start off the record given its title. All the good ones. The second track dials into the feel of the Weezer song Beverly Hills, kind of mixing it with Styx and Toto a little bit, and a nod to all of the great performers that have gone too early before us. I really like the song for that reason. Hero is a track that most of us are probably familiar with. It's been out for a bit, but it's got a great hook and melody, and I need some of that. We're talking about the Cars and Rick Ocasek. That of all the tracks has the most of that Cars feel, especially with the hand claps, kind of a signature thing with that band. And then this album starts to get fun into Blue Dream. That's where they start to highlight a little bit of the heavy metal, sampling the riff from Crazy Train. So a little shout out to Ozzy there playing around with that riff, which is a lot of fun. It leads into the song One More Hit, which messes around with the Metallica riff. And it's just kind of like a sadly ironic, funny song. One More Hit alludes to a statement that I think many artists in the 80s probably said with regards to their drug use. Got to lay off the stuff. Got to lay off that bad stuff. And then She Needs Me, great tune, and the record closes with a nice little ballad, Precious Metal Girl. And what a way to, highlight the soft side of all of our favorite rockers. The ballad being a big part of rock and roll certainly feels like an appropriate way to end this record. I'm going to vinyl please this. It's a lot of fun. It's really odd, much like OK Human, 31 minutes, a very short but concise and dialed in experience. I mean, from start to finish, this thing is a lot of fun. The riffs are big, the hooks are big. Rivers cheeky in his lyrics as always. It's just a really fun experience. I think it's well worth the wait. And if you want to, you can pick it up on this snazzy pink vinyl. Very sexy package there. Really excited to go to the record store with my good friend Erin Dial here in just a few moments, actually. She'll be in the studio on Sunday hanging out with me. I won't delay you checking this thing out, though. I hope you find this review helpful. Please like this video, subscribe to my channel, and check out that live interview with Erin Dial on Sunday night. We will see you next time on the Beat Sessions.